This is my favorite, I can't even say time of the morning because it doesn't happen every morning, where it's peaceful, it's quiet. I have about 10 minutes before I start my work day, so I like to just sit, have my latte, which is so delicious, and catch up. So it is Thursday, February 1st. Wow. Like, I know people say this all the time, and I guess as you get older, you say this more. It's like, wow, time flies. Old people always say that. Maybe. But yeah, I cannot believe January is over. I just feel like we just celebrated the new year. I feel like we just came into 2024 and already 1 month is gone. So I kind of wanted to do just a catch up, a little recap as we completed the first month of the first month of the Three Rivers Challenge, the Pantry Challenge. And number one, I am proud to say that we stuck with it, right? Because there was that one night, I guess it was a week ago tomorrow, where we went and got sushi and spent $115. But it was necessary. No regrets. It was necessary for our mental health. My mental health, mostly. And other than that, we've stuck to the challenge. We've done really well. A couple of things I've noticed, especially probably over the last week, maybe 2 weeks, is I said it to my kids starting this morning, they're going to start making their lunches every night for the next day. They take their lunches to school. It's just more affordable. It's healthier. And it just, I think, instills better routines, better habits, expectations. But often they've been coming home lately and not eating their food for one reason or another. It's never the same reason. But I said to them this morning, like, you're going to start making your lunches, because I'm not going to try to guess what you like anymore. You're old enough to figure this out. You know it's in the house. I'll work with you. You're not on your own, but you're going to pack your lunches. So there's more accountability, and also there's more pride, right? There's more pride in knowing they packed it and they'll be hopefully excited to eat it. So I say that because I think I need to very much skew how much food I'm cooking. And what I mean is maybe scale down a bit. I was always cooking enough for 6 meals, right? 4 of us at dinner and then 2 leftovers for the kids for lunch. Now, most of the time there was even way more than that, and my husband would take some to work and I'd have some. But I think I need to scale the meals down a bit so there's not so many leftovers, and really try to reduce any waste. Because even the leftovers, my family, after a day, if I'm lucky 2 days, they get really tired of eating it. So I want to be very mindful of that. And that really goes along with everything that we've put up over the last year in our pantry, our freezers, all of it, right? It's like you don't want any of that work to be for nothing, to be for waste. And so I want to be more mindful of how much I'm cooking and what I think they're going to eat. So last night's dinner, the fish and chips, I debated turning the camera back on, but I didn't because I was tired. I just didn't want to. But let me tell you, first of all, they loved the dinner. They did eat their dinner. And my son did take fish and chips for school lunch today. My daughter, nope. She had scrambled eggs and some pears, chocolate chips and almonds, I think a piece of cheese. She'll do cheese in little bits. But it did go well last night. Here's the caveat. I am never doing that again. Never. It was such a mess. Such a mess. I mean, if y'all have ever fried or deep fried, you know this. I can sit here. There's a pile of clean laundry, kitchen towels, and my apron behind me that I need to fold and put away. But I can sit here like in peace knowing, because my kitchen is spotless clean. After everyone was done eating, they had to go to basketball practice. and I was on my own. I was a little crotchety about that. No, a lot. I was a lot crotchety about that. But I dug deep and I got all of the dishes done. Some of them went in the dishwasher, which is running right now also because I want to keep this house clean, keep the kitchen clean. But I had to hand wash a lot of dishes. I wiped down all of the appliances. I wiped down all of the counters and tried to clean the counters up with decluttering and whatnot. I wiped down all of the table and chairs, and I vacuumed the floor, the whole downstairs, and I mopped all of the hardwoods downstairs. It took me about 2.5 hours. And when I was done, it was the most amazing feeling. But it also made me realize in that 2.5 hour time period, I am not doing that again. It was a fun departure from what, how we normally cook and eat. And it was a good learning experience. But deep frying, I have realized, is just not for us. The other part of that is when I woke up this morning, my husband always gets up and leaves the house earlier. He's a high school teacher, and so he has to be at work really early in the morning. So I'm still in bed, but I'm very awake, very aware of what's happening. And I'm hearing the refrigerator open, I'm hearing dishes, I'm hearing the coffee maker, I'm hearing all of these things, and I'm just like, dear God, please don't let there be a mess when I wake up, when I get up. Please don't let there be a mess in the kitchen. And then subsequently, the kids want to say goodbye to their father before he leaves. And so now they're up and I'm just like, dear God, it's me again. Please let not the kitchen be a mess. So, it's like when you do all that work, you just want to preserve it for more than 12 hours when everyone's unconscious. You want to preserve it for longer than that. I did have to do a little triage, but all in all, I'm able to sit here calmly and relaxed, knowing my kitchen is still clean. So tonight's dinner, my husband will not be home for dinner tonight. He has got a boys' night out. So it's just me and the kids. And we're going to do something that, Lord, I pray that they like. But we're going to make some fettuccine pasta, some egg pasta with like a Parmesan cream sauce. Not technically an Alfredo, but I'm just going to take some cream, take some garlic, and some Parmesan, homemade Parmesan. And we're going to make like a Parmesan cream sauce. And I have some lobster. So, and you're going to be like, whoa. No, don't be all impressed. It must have been last fall, sometime either late summer or early fall. Every now and then I go to Lidl, which is like the sister store to Aldi. I love Aldi and Lidl. Whenever I do shop, which is rare, but whenever I do, I like to just peruse those stores and kind of see what you can find. And they had, or here, let me get it. They had these bags in the freezer section. So it's lobster. It's actually a product of Canada, but it's Atlantic Ocean lobster. It's fully cooked. It is in the shell, but it's pre-scored. Now I have opened a couple of these last year, and they took some work to get into. The best part about this is when I saw these, did you see that? Can you see that? 30% off. So I bought, I think there was 8 or 9 in the freezer case. I literally bought all of them. I think I paid maybe $8 or $9 per bag. So it was a bigger order, a bigger grocery shopping day. All right, that's enough chit chat for this morning. I hope your morning is delightful. I am gonna go on my work day and we'll come back, get our lobster cracked and our pasta made. It's time to get our pasta dough together. Now I am going to be doing, like I said, an egg pasta, and this is the recipe I have, which is per person. So if you're trying to feed 6 people, you would times this by 6 as an estimate. 90 grams of all-purpose einkorn flour, that's what I'm using, or any 00 flour. So you can use all-purpose. I don't want you to think you can't. If that's what you have, you're welcome to use that. But 00 just means that it's ground really, really fine. I'm using all-purpose einkorn flour, which is what you can use. You can use all-purpose flour or any 00. All right, back on track. 90 grams of that flour plus 55 grams of egg. Now we're gonna weigh out our eggs. So obviously the size and a weight of an egg can vary, which is why you want to weigh your eggs out first and not kind of do that afterwards and just start throwing everything in the bowl. I'm going to be making, like I said, servings for 3 people. I think that's going to be enough. I'm debating if I want to go to 4, but 90 grams flour, 55 grams egg. I'm going to start with measuring my flour in a rather large bowl. People often make pasta just kind of on their countertops, on a wood kind of cutting board, a big large board. I'm not that confident in my skills of keeping my kitchen clean, so we're gonna do it in a bowl. Okay, so that 1 cup is 162 grams, so I think I am gonna go to 4 servings, 360 grams of flour. Okay, so 4 servings, 360 grams flour, and that is 220 grams egg. Yep, 220. I am going to be using my lime water glassed eggs, lime water preserved eggs. These eggs are from the end of July of last year. These are the last of our water glassed eggs. I had 3 of these gallon jars, each with approximately 33, 34 eggs. So we've been using through these. This is the second time, or last year was the second year that I actually did the water glassing. I'm hooked. I love it. So whenever my egg chicken lady friend always has extras in the summer when the chickens are really producing, I'm always getting more and water glassing them. So I am going to take just probably 4 or 5 out, wash them, and then we will crack and weigh them. The lime water helps to preserve the shell and keep the shell nice and firm to preserve the egg. Okay, well that was 58 grams. So 4 eggs may be enough. 114, we're going to 220. Oh my goodness. I don't know if y'all can see that, 220 exact. This was meant to be. All right, we're now going to put our eggs in the middle of the well of our flour and start whipping, kind of beating them in with the flour. This is the fun part. Your hands your hand will get dirty, but we're just gonna work it all in. You're gonna start to think, ugh, this is dry and I need to add water or something. Don't. Just trust the process. I'm using a fork to kind of clean my hands off so I can get some of this back in here, but trust the process, it will come together. Okay, once you feel like you've got everything cleaned up in the bowl, we're gonna go to the counter and just start kneading it like you would bread. Okay, I washed my hands just so I'd have as less stickiness as possible. And I put a little bit of the flour, the einkorn flour, down on the counter. And now we're gonna knead for about 5 to 10 minutes. And you'll know that you're done kneading because it won't be sticky and it won't be too dry. And it's gonna be this gorgeous yellow color, almost kind of a tad glossy maybe. It has been 6 minutes. I want you to see, so nothing is sticky, there's nothing here. It's like this perfectly beautiful, smooth, soft dough ball. And you see the gorgeous yellow color? That is from the egg yolks. So you can kind of tell the difference with pasta, right? Egg pasta versus just kind of like semolina pasta that doesn't have eggs, that's just the water. All right, so this is great. I'm just gonna form this, flatten this out a little bit, because when I roll it out, I'm not gonna roll this big dough ball. That'll be just too overwhelming. Probably gonna divide this into either 3 or 4 pieces, but to give me a little head start on rolling, I'm just flattening it. Y'all know that's satisfying. Giving that dough a go whack, it's very satisfying. All right, I'm gonna wrap this. You can wrap it in plastic wrap, a damp tea towel. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a clean towel that's slightly damp and just kind of wrap that up and leave it here on the counter, room temp, because I don't want it to dry out too much. That's why you wrap it with something semi-damp or plastic wrap. Okay, while the pasta dough is resting, we're going to get our lobster deshelled. So you can see they're already kind of scored is what the package said. So for the most part, it should be relatively easy to get the meat out. Now there is a tendon in here that always prevents this one from just kind of coming out as easily. So I live in North Carolina, but I grew up primarily in Pennsylvania. That's where I went to grade school, high school, and college. But I was born, and where my family is originally from is Maine. And so I have so many wonderful, amazing memories of going with my mom to visit my grandparents. And they lived in a little bit southern Maine, near Portland. I was born in Portland, but they lived on Sebago Lake. And some of you may know Sebago Lake. My grandfather was a master tradesman, builder. He built boats, fishing boats. And he built their house on Sebago Lake, and we're talking a long time ago. And we would go up every summer, my mom and I, sometimes for up to 2 weeks at a time. And I just have, so many amazing memories of that time and at that house with my grandparents and my mom, but also so many memories eating lobster. There was never a shortage of lobster whenever we went to visit. It wasn't nearly as expensive as it is today. And they were live lobsters, and we'd often come home with them, and I would totally check them out and play with them because I was fascinated, and then we'd cook them. But I got great hands-on experience and tutorials for many years of my life on how to deshell a lobster. And every time I eat lobster or do something like this, which isn't that often anymore, it just brings back the most amazing memories. Okay, all of the pasta is rolled out. I put a little extra einkorn flour on here just to keep everything from sticking too much. We'll be cooking dinner in probably about three-ish hours, maybe three and a half hours. So I'm just gonna keep my damp towel covering this a bit. I'm just gonna leave it on the counter. It's 5 o'clock, it's the witching hour again. I haven't quite decided when I'm cooking dinner yet because we have an activity for the children tonight. I'm on the fence on whether or not that's gonna happen. So I've just kind of gotten everything ready as much as possible. I have my stock pot here full of water, and I actually have the burner on high just to get it as hot as I can get before I leave, and then I can turn it off, right? But I just don't want to start with cold water when I come home. I've got my stainless steel skillet here, and I put in about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic that was in oil in our refrigerator. I also pulled out the Parmesan I have. This is the little bit of homemade Parmesan I have left. Don't worry, there's more if I need to open more, but I've got that ready. I also pulled out some parsley, dried parsley, and these are the leek tops that I did late last year, possibly. Just the dehydrated leek tops. Tarragon is a fantastic herb with lobster. I don't have tarragon. It's one of those things that I'm going to be trying to grow this year. I just don't have it dried in my pantry now. So we're going to make do with the parsley and the dehydrated leek powder. I pulled out 1 bag of broccoli and it's in the oven. Still frozen, nothing's on yet, but I have it there ready to start to turn the oven on and roast when ready. And then last but not least is the cream. I've got the cream already separated in the refrigerator. We use raw milk, and so I'm able to kind of pour off the cream as needed throughout the week with whatever I want to use it for, or just put it in my coffee. But I did save some cream for tonight's dinner. So the goal is going to be to cook the pasta, roast the broccoli, and then make the sauce and throw the lobster in. Hey, hi, howdy. It's 7:23.
What?
Teensy bit hangry.
You want a treat?
Me, not, well, maybe them, but me.
Oh, you want a treat?
Just turned the oven on to 400 degrees. The water is still fairly hot, but I just turned it back on to high. Our pasta is doing okay. It's fairly dry, but it's not clumped together. So I think that'll be good. I'm kind of trying to put them in, not necessarily one by one, but kind of, so they don't stick together too much. Because because they're gonna cook fast. In the other skillet, I put in about a tablespoon of butter along with that garlic, trying to get that melted, because once the pasta's done, we're gonna use the tongs and bring it over. Thank you. I'm gonna put a little bit of the pasta water in because the starches will hopefully thicken up the sauce. Leek powder. Just a couple more. Why don't you and your sister get your water?
No, I'm not gonna have one. Can I wait? I need it first. Now is it done?
Almost.
Oh.
That's the lobster. Good. Perfect. Okay. You're cool?
I get first plate. Make mine a lot. A lot.
And there's broccoli too. Yeah, I am really excited to eat this.
Get me in the picture.
All right, what do we say, guys?
Mama says it first.
We'll say it all at the same time. 1,
3, 2, 1. Bon
appetit!
appetit! Bon appetit!
Bon appetit!